9 Excel formulas that you need to know. We're going to see here through these practical examples that I have here, how to use each one of these 9 different formulas in Excel, and that way we can understand how to use each one of these formulas and also how to use each one of the formulas in a practical situation on a daily basis. And formula is different than function. This is important. And I'm going to show you here what is the difference between a function and a formula in Excel. Here we're going to talk about 9 different formulas in Excel. It's not functions, but formulas. And we're going to see how to use it on a daily basis. Let's see here the sum function, subtraction, multiplication, division, greater than, less than, equal to, greater or equal to, and also less or equal to. And each one of these different formulas in Excel has a symbol that we need to use in order to make the formula itself. Now let's take a look here. What is the difference between a function and a formula in Excel? Let me take any blank cell right here, such as this one right here, and then equals sign. Anything now that I type in here, such as maybe look, for example, this list that you have here, these options, is a function. But what is the difference basically from a function to a formula in Excel? I can also type it in here, another thing such as a, and then I have here a list with another functions. The function itself already have their inner purpose. So if I take here the ABS function, it returns the absolute value of a number. The ABS function, I cannot use this function to maybe add up some values together, but I need to use the ABS function to its own purpose. This is a function. It already has its own purpose, and I can choose a function through this list that Excel is going to give to you. Now, in order to make a formula, equal sign again, and a formula you can create the purpose of the formula. So let's say I want to add up a couple of values, such as 1 added to 5 added to 10. Okay, now I'm going to press enter, and here I got the correct result. So this is a formula in Excel. When you create the purpose, you create what the formula is going to do. The function already have their inner functionality, okay? Now let's take a look here. How can we use all these 9 different formulas in Excel with these practical examples? Let's start with the first one, where I have a list with a lot of different competitors' names and also the time of each competitors in 3 different laps of a race. For example, I have here the first lap, the second one, and the third one, and the times. I need to know here what is the total time for all the laps for the first competitor, and then for the second one, the third one, the fourth one, and so on and so on. I also need to know the average time for each one of the competitors that I have here. Let's start with in calculation here the total time. To do this math, I can simply equal sign and type it in the first number, that is 67, add to. Take a look here. Whenever I'm doing a math, a sum in Excel, sum add up values, I need to use, if you are using a formula, the plus sign, okay? You just basically need to follow the list that we just saw before. 67 added to 66 added to 112. Enter. Here I got the first result. That way that I just did here in the cell above, double click here, want you to open again. It's not that smart to do that way, because if I need to do again, and on, it's going to take a long time, because I'm going to need to type it in manually all the numbers that I have. So it's not a smart way to do it. Maybe there is a smarter way to do. And yeah, that is, instead of using the number itself, typing manually, I can click over the cell to select the number. And whenever I click in the down right corner of the cell, click, hold, and drag down to make sure all the rows now contain the same formula, I'm already going to have a dynamically change in the values. That way I can finish this task within 1 minute, for example. So equal signs, and then I'm going to click in the cell where I have the first value, add to the second cell, add to the third cell, and so on, so on. But here I just have 3 cells, and then enter. Okay, we got the same result, but this time in a dynamic way. And as I said before, if I click here in the down right corner of the cell, click, hold, and drag down, I make sure now all the rows contain the same formula, and we're done. So this is the correct result for all the total time for all the different competitors that we have in this first list. To do the average, we can do something similar. Maybe to do first, let's understand what is the average. Basically, we need to add up the values that we need, such as 67, add to 66, add to 112, and then what I need to do? Divide all these numbers to its quantities. So 1, 2, 3, and then divide by 3. This is the average. I can do here something similar. Equal sign, and let's do it dynamically. I can take 67, add to 66, add to 112, and divide by 3. The division here in Excel, we need to use forward slash. Here we need to be mindful because we also have the backwards slash, but here we're gonna use the forward slash. If I press enter, we're gonna maybe get a not correct, a wrong result, because I need to tell Excel that I first need Excel to do the sum of all these 3 values that I have, and then divide it by 3. If I just let it that way, Excel is gonna basically divide this last value that I have for 3. And it's not correct. So to make sure Excel first do the sum of all these 3 first numbers, I need to include here and append just after the equals sign, the open parentheses, and then just after the sum, close parentheses, enter, and here we got the average of all these 3 first values. In the same way, I can click here in the down right corner of the cell, click, hold, and drag down to make sure all the rows now contain the same formula. We're done with the first example, and as you saw, we already done here the sum function and also the division one. Let me paint it with yellow. Okay. Now let's move on here for another example where we have the product, the cost, the price, and the discount, and also here the final price. The final price is blank, so we need to fill in with the correct result, correct information. To do the final price here, we can take the price minus the discount, and that way we're gonna have the final price. And to do the subtraction in an opposite way to a sum in Excel, instead of using the sum sign, we're gonna use the subtraction sign. Equal sign, price, subtract to the discount price. Enter, and that's it, we're done. Now instead of double click or click, hold, and drag down the formula, I'm gonna double click in the down right corner in the same place. Just double click, 1, 2, and yeah, that's it. The subtraction is done. Let me paint it with this yellow color. Now let's move on here to another example where we have something similar. A couple of different orders, the quantity, the price, and the total. If you have, let's say, a quantity in your stock and also a price, or if you have an order and the client or the customer just bought 18 units of a specific product, how much? What is the total of this order? We can multiply the price that you have for the quantity. Equal sign, and to do a multiplication here in Excel, we can use the asterisk sign or the star, whatever. You have here this asterisk, and you can use it to do this multiplication in Excel. I'm gonna choose here first the price, or either the quantity, doesn't matter. I'm gonna choose the price times asterisk the quantity. Enter, and here we got the correct result. Click, hold, and drag down, or double click it, and we're done. So the multiplication is done. Let me paint it with this yellow color. Now we have here left 5 different formulas. Greater than, less than, equal to, greater or equal to, less or equal to. These last 5 formulas that we need to see. With this last example here, we can explore all these 5 different situations through this logical operator formula. Or, we can use greater than, this little arrow to the right, less than, the arrow to the left, equal to, that is the equal sign that we are used to, or we can combine greater than with the equal sign, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. Let's start doing something here. I have a list of a couple of applicants to a job interview or a job opportunity, and also I have the test value that each one of these applicants got, and also here I have the goal. So let's say here Emily got 7.5, but the goal was 6.0. Emily, so it's okay or not for Emily? Yeah, it's okay. Emily is approved. So if I follow here this criteria, the goal, that is 6.0. But if I got here, let's say Mr. Anderson, he got 5.4.0, 4.0, and the goal was 6.0. Actually, the goal is equal to everyone, 6.0. So he's not approved. As we already understand how it's gonna work, the status, we cannot do it manually because it can take me a long time to fill it in with the correct information for all the applicants that I have here in this list. So maybe we can use a formula in Excel to help us. And the formula that we can use is with the logical operators that we just saw before, such as, let's start, equal sign, and then I want to check if this 7.5 is greater than 6. Okay, it's easy. I know it's, yes, 7.5, of course, is greater than 6.0. But the point here is not to, oh, I don't know how to do this math. No, the point here is to automate this task. And then we already know this is a true condition. If I press enter here, Excel will return for me the true value. And it's indicate that the condition that I just did before is equal to true. If I click, hold, and drag down or double click in the down right corner of the cell 1, 2, I'm gonna have here two different results, either true or false. Let's take here a false and understand what's happened. Such as here, for example, Murphy, he got 4, but the goal is 6, so it's false or not approved. We have one interesting fact here, such as Ethan. Ethan, third, got 6, and the goal was 6. So why I got here a false? If an applicant got 6 and the goal is equal to 6, so okay, it's approved. He basically got the same result, the same grade, the same value as the goal itself. So okay, it's approved. So why we got false as the result in this situation right here? Because we are not checking if the result is greater than or equal to the goal. Not. We are just checking if the result is greater than the goal. 6 is greater than 6. No, it's equal to. Now I understand. So here's the problem. And that way we can use, instead of just using the greater than, we can also append to this formula that we did, greater than or equal to. Now we can use this combination right here. But before we do it, let's make another change here. Let me delete it. Another practical way that we can do logical comparisons in Excel, equal sign, I can check if this first value is equal to another value. Enter. Of course, we have here a false because 7.5 is different than 6.0. I can click, hold, and drag down. And we have here a couple of true. This one right here, and also this one right here, because the two values are equal to each other. Now let's make some different analysis here, such as equal sign. I want to see if the test value is less than the goal. Enter, and okay, we can also have here a different analysis. Now let's move on to the final analysis that we need to do. That is the combination of the greater than sign with the equals sign. Equal sign, I want to check if the test value is greater than and also equal to or equal to the goal. Enter. Now I'm gonna click, hold, and drag down, and we're done. I think this formula that I just did here is the accurate one, because I also want to consider the test. If it's equal to the goal, okay, it's approved. So it's important to use that way the equals sign. And as I can see here, Ethan, for example, Ethan got 6, the goal is 6, so he's approved, true. Okay, so this is how we can use all these 9 different formulas in Excel. And just one that we are missing is, instead of using greater than or equal to, we can change the greater than to less than instead. And it's gonna work and basically with the same logic, but it's gonna consider here if the value is less than or equal to another value, okay? I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions or any suggestions to the next ones, let me know, comment down below, and I see you tomorrow. As every day has a new video, I see you there.